You're standing inside a metal box hanging dozens of stories above the ground, and somehow, that doesn't bother you at all. For a moment, you are completely cut off from the outside world in a small, windowless chamber. Statistically, it's a highly unnatural environment to feel relaxed in. Yet, most of us don't feel a hint of anxiety. Why? Because almost immediately, you look at yourself. You check your hair, adjust your collar, or glance at the people around you. We assume that mirror is just a design choice, a convenient amenity for our vanity. But the truth is much more fascinating. That mirror is actually a brilliant piece of behavioral engineering. In fact, it was the key to making high-rise living practically viable for early city dwellers. Go back to the post-war building boom. Cities were expanding upward at an unprecedented pace, but as skyscrapers grew taller, architects ran into a major bottleneck. It wasn't a structural issue, it was a human one. Because the buildings were so tall, people were spending significantly more time waiting for elevators and riding in them. Soon, complaints began flooding building managers. Tenants were frustrated, claiming the elevators were slow and inefficient. Naturally, the obvious fix was to make the machinery faster. But when engineers tried to solve it mechanically, they hit a fundamental barrier. Mechanical engineers did manage to build faster motors. The elevators could fly up the shafts, but there was a problem: the human body. The inner ear is highly sensitive to vertical acceleration. If you speed up an elevator too aggressively to satisfy people's impatience, you cause motion sickness and physical discomfort. But if you keep it at a comfortable speed, passengers grow restless and frustrated by the wait. Engineers were stuck. The laws of physics and human biology were in a stalemate. That's when building managers realized they weren't dealing with a mechanical problem at all. They were dealing with a psychological one. They stopped looking at the speed of the machine and started looking at the human experience of time. Behavioral experts realized that when people stand in a small, enclosed space with absolutely nothing to do, their minds enter a state of hyper-awareness. Without distractions, your internal clock stretches. A 30-second ride feels like several minutes. The engineers couldn't safely speed up the elevator. So, they decided to give the human mind something to process. They installed mirrors on the walls, and almost instantly, the complaints dropped to near zero. But how does a simple sheet of reflective glass completely alter our perception of time? First, it's a powerful optical illusion. A mirror instantly doubles the perceived depth of the room, making a small, potentially claustrophobic box feel open and spacious. Second, it solves a subtle social challenge. When you're crammed into a tight space with strangers, where do you look? Staring at the floor feels awkward, staring at the ceiling is unnatural, and holding eye contact with a stranger can feel invasive. The mirror acts as a passive visual buffer. It gives everyone a comfortable place to direct their gaze, while subtly allowing you to monitor your surroundings using your peripheral vision. It lowers the collective tension of the room without anyone saying a word. As elevator design evolved, engineers discovered that these mirrors served an even more critical, practical purpose, one that has nothing to do with psychology. Next time you step into a high-rise elevator, notice how the mirrors often extend all the way to the floor or are positioned directly opposite the doors. This is actually a vital feature for wheelchair accessibility. Navigating a wheelchair into a narrow elevator is straightforward, but backing out into a busy hallway can be difficult and awkward. Because there often isn't enough room to turn around inside, the mirror acts exactly like a rearview mirror in a car. It allows passengers using mobility devices to exit safely, smoothly, and independently. Today, this isn't just clever design, it's a legal requirement in many building codes worldwide. What began as a clever fix for early skyscrapers turned out to be an early masterclass in user experience design. Long before tech companies engineered interfaces to keep us engaged while data loads, architects figured out that if you give the human brain a passive task, it forgets it's waiting. What's fascinating is that the elevator never became faster. People simply stopped noticing the wait. We see this exact design philosophy everywhere today. It's why airport baggage carousels are intentionally placed a short walk away from the gates. Keeping you moving feels faster than standing still. It's why digital loading bars have smooth shifting animations to assure you progress is being made. So, the next time the elevator doors slide shut, cut and you find yourself instinctively adjusting your jacket or checking your reflection, take a moment to appreciate the design. You aren't just looking at a piece of glass, you're witnessing an elegant solution where psychology solved a problem that physics couldn't. It makes you wonder, what other invisible choices are hidden in the objects around us, quietly shaping how we experience the world every single day?